Yo, what's going on, man? Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Today is September the 4th, and we only got one game in the W. Also want to get into Thursday night football for tomorrow. We got the Kansas City Chiefs. They will be in Arrowhead taking on the rematch of the AFC Championship game against the Baltimore Ravens. So we'll jump into that one. Give you guys my favorite player prop. I do think the lines are very, very sharp as far as side and total. But yeah, interested to see what you guys are looking at as well. We'll do a quick recap of last night as we always do. And then we will go through a couple of the comments and get into the two games. So no further ado, let's do just that. Yesterday, I made two plays in the WNBA. The first one was Tina Charles up and over her 25.5 points plus rebounds. And I actually stayed up last night, man. I stayed up last night to watch this game against the Mercury and to watch Tina Charles absolutely not get the ball in the fourth quarter. She had 12 points and 12 rebounds at the end of the third quarter and did not touch the ball. Ryan Howard caught fire and literally just shot the ball every single time down the floor. And they went away from Tina Charles. Now, granted, Ryan Howard was hot, but they went away from Tina Charles. And I don't remember even her taking a shot in the fourth quarter. So very, very frustrating loss with Tina Charles. We know that the Fords have dominated the matchup with Brittany Griner throughout the entirety of the season. But Tina Charles did stay under 25.5 points plus rebounds. The winner was Chicago versus Vegas, under 166 when I gave it out. I sent the write-out up to members, and I said that I would take this up to 164.5, under 164.5, and I think it finished 161. So we do get there. The game did slow down just a tad bit. Chicago got off to a very, very slow start. And Vegas ended up getting the coverage. Chicago looked like a shell of themselves offensively. Kind of what I thought with Kennedy Carter being there. We did see the total go down, but the under was good money. So let's go through a couple of the comments real quick. Break-even day for me in the W. Of course, trying to find a positive day, but I'll take the break-even day and move on. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Also didn't play Washington team total over. Shout out to my guy, Mark. Just didn't quite get there with that one, but that was an easy winner. They won the game, covered the spread, and won outright yesterday. What up, Glow? What's up, Mark? He says, what's good, Chris and community? Hope everyone had a good day yesterday. Ready to roll today? Absolutely. What's up to my guy, Marquise? He says, Rise and Grind 2-1, Storm money line, Mystics plus 5.5, and Dream money line. Ouch. Mercury played with a lot of fight yesterday. I talked about that yesterday. I was wrong about Connecticut because I did think that Seattle was just going to tuck their tail. That's what they've looked like recently. Yesterday, they played very inspiring basketball on both sides of the floor, but specifically on the defensive end. Kind of playing with some pride against Bree Jones after she came out and dominated him in the first game and in the first quarter last night as well. But yeah, I thought it was a step down in class for the Mercury last night. They had got smoked 3 games in a row, but those were against 3 of the top 5 teams in the WNBA, in my opinion. So yeah, I kind of saw that one coming, but I didn't play the game. Did like the under, but didn't play the game. What's up to my guy, Justin? Aaron says, good morning, Chris and community. Let's capitalize on the fast-paced game today. Yeah, a lot of ways to get paid, I think, today for sure. Jabba says, I have to take the Sparks with the points in Boston. Points, even if it makes me gag. This is a matchup, and she gets going. She clears in the first quarter. So we're going to talk about that. I mentioned it in the show yesterday as well. Life's a Drip says, morning, bro. It's been a minute since I've been able to catch you in one of your streams. Hope you're doing good. Right back at you, Life's a Dream. Right back at you, bro. Hope all is well with you. Says he took Copper over 4.5 rebounds and parlayed it with a Gray over 1.5 threes, and both of them played them. That's tough. 12 and 12 in the third and still didn't get there, bro. It was tough to watch the fourth quarter. She literally was and she played the whole third quarter and majority of the fourth quarter as well. So it was a tough loss, man. Definitely a tough loss. Prop got some money with Seattle yesterday, so they got their revenge. And what up to my guy dropping dimes as well. CG 303 of 2 says, morning, Chris. God bless. Damn, I took Alicia Gray 1.5 3-pointers. She should have got there. Atlanta started the game off very, very slow, as did the Chicago Sky. And offense just never really was there yesterday. Jordan Canada under her 6.5 assists is something that we're going to have to keep on our bingo card. It's like a free space. She cannot get 7 assists. Jordan Canada, I think, is under in 7 or 8 straight games. I was just looking at the box score this morning, glancing back through it. She always set at 6.5, and she cannot get 7 assists. So I was a little scared last night because Phoenix been giving it up. I think Jackie Young had 13 assists on Sunday, but that was the play for sure as well. What up, Marquise? Good morning, Kristen. And Cuppa Joe in here as well. Says I got washed yesterday. Kelsey 3 threes each, and Caitlin 3 threes. Saved me at plus 199. What up to my guy She? Yeah, Alicia Gray sounded like it was a popular play. She had been cooking, but some aggression was definitely coming. So let's get into the one game that we got on the board for today, and that game is going to be the Sparks and the Fever. I think that this line is accurate. Looks like 12. You can get a 12.5 if you like the Sparks over on BetMGM, and there are 12.5. It looks like is consensus for this game. Total moved all the way up. This total, I talked about it yesterday, up to 174 and a half on BetMGM. You guys see 173. It looks like that is the consensus right now, but this is continuing to go up. And I do like this one up and over the total. Don't like that the number is moved. So let's jump into the game really quickly. And I haven't made a play. So you get a Sparks team coming off 2 days rest. They are first of a 2-game road trip for them. I want to say that they play Seattle next. Let me just double check it. No, they play in Chicago on what's today? Today's Wednesday. They play in Chicago on Friday. And this is a Sparks team that has been really, really bad. The only place they do play well is when they get in double digits on the road. You can see they are 10-6 against the spread as a road on the road this season. I'm pretty sure they've been dogs in all of those games. And they just got smoked at home to the Atlanta Dream. Ended up losing that game by 18 points when they were 4.5-point dogs in that spot. It goes below the total of 164. And then on the opposite side, you got a Fever team that's been cleaning everybody up. This team is 8-2 straight up, 8-2 against the spread in their last 10. 2 days rest, first of a 4-game homestand. They got a big rematch coming up with the Minnesota Lynx. That's the only team that's actually beaten them since the Olympic break. And absolutely rolling, covering all the spreads. However, this is the first time all season that they've been laying such a number. This line is 12, and that's a very, very big number to lay with the Indiana Fever here. When I was going through it, I actually thought this game was yesterday, so I was capping this game as if it was on yesterday's card initially. And the first thing that jumped out to me, I wanted to see how many times the Fever have actually won a game at the crib by double digits. And they've won 4 straight. They've won 9 of their last 10. But only one of their wins have actually been by double digits. 10.5 is what the line was, and it's already up to 12. I can't lay right here with the Indiana Fever. I can't lay here. Like I said, I do think this game goes up and over the total. If I go to Moneyballer really quickly, and I'm getting ahead of myself. I also need to mention the injury report. I did see that Timmy Fong Bagley is on the injury report with a shoulder injury. There's potential that she couldn't play, that she may not be available in tonight's game. She is listed as questionable. I want to say, right shoulder injury, listed as questionable. I think it impacts the defense a little bit more than the offense, of course. Another reason to like the over, because the defense is solid. Lasia Clarendon continues to be out with mental health issues, and Lexi Brown also listed as out. So for the Sparks, you still got Odyssey Sims, Rakia Jackson, De'Erica Hamby, Azare Stevens, Stephanie Talbert. Like they still have scores, in my opinion. I do think this is going to be a fast-paced game as well. We go back and just look at the pace numbers. Last 5 games, the Indiana Fever are scoring the second most points per game at just under 90 per contest, and still giving up 85 points per game as well. You look at the Sparks, they're scoring 80 points per game, and they're giving up the second most points at 86 per contest as well over the last 5 games. Indiana Fever also ranked number 1 in effective field goal percentage. They're the 4th best rebounding team. They're doing a lot of things really good. Number 1 in true shooting percentage, and also fast pace. The Fever are playing at the fastest pace in the WNBA right now. Last 5 games, 4th one this season. And you look at the Sparks, same thing. They're 3rd in pace over the last 5 games, 2nd in pace over the last 10 games, and 5th in pace for the full season. And I think that's why you see this total going up. If I go to moneyballer.com, to the Moneyballer website, and I look at some of the trends, it does say that, let me just get to it real quick. It does say that there's potential, especially if we look after the All-Star break, that the Sparks could keep this game close early. They have done really, really well in this role. Let really quickly. Let's see. So just post Olympic break, this Sky team is I keep saying Sky. Sparks team is 6-2 against the number in the first half, and as a road dog, a perfect 4-0 against the number in the first half as well. I do think the Sparks can keep this one within the number early. I do think if they run out of gas, it'll probably be late. I'm also very interested to see how the Fever play. One being that they clinched last night, right? So with the Sparks, with the Aces winning against the Sky and the Mercury taking care of the Atlanta Dream, that's interesting to note. And I put that in the write-up. In situationally, the Fever, they can kind of let up just a tad bit if they need to here. They don't have to go, they're not playing for their lives anymore. They clinched the playoff spot with both of those teams losing last night. So I think +8 is a big number. You can get a +8 on Bet Rivers, 7.5. Also, I think in play. It's just predicated on the Fever, potential letdown spot for them, look ahead spot as well. That would be the play if I had to play, anything in this game. I would be looking at Sparks plus the points in the first half specifically. +7.5 looks like it's the best number. -105 or over on DraftKings right now. As far as player props, I mentioned her name yesterday, and I think it's worth mentioning again. Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston player prop. I like the points plus rebounds to combine. -110 on Bet365 last night. And this is a number that, the Sparks are continuously giving up over the last 5 games, last 10 games. They've been awful against bigs throughout the entirety of the season. They're conceding the second most restricted area makes and the third most restricted area attempts over the last 5 games. They're also giving up the second most points in the paint over the last 5 games at a little bit over 44 per contest. You look at Aaliyah Boston, she's 5th on this season in points scored in the paint. That's typically where she do a lot of her damage. And then, you just go back and look at the players that they just played against. Tina Charles just went absolutely crazy in this spot. She had 18 points at halftime, finished the game with 23 and 10 rebounds, 32 and 6 for Stewie in a game that Jocko Jones didn't play on I think that was on last Wednesday. And then 17 and 11 for Tiara McCowan, 14 and 11 for Shakira Austin. And those are just the last 4 matchups. This is not including Asia Wilson. I think Asia had 39 and 14 against this team. They just don't have a big that's going to be able to slow Aaliyah Boston down in my opinion. So I do like Aaliyah Boston, and I do like, if I'm playing anything as far as spread wise, I'm looking at the Sparks to be able to keep this game interesting early. Like I said, I think it could be a potential flat spot for the Fever. All right, so let's go through the comments and see what you guys are thinking about this one, and then we'll move over to Thursday Night Football tomorrow, first game of the season. Kristen says, "Best of luck to everyone today." Appreciate that, Kristen. Right back at you as well. Best of luck. What up, Markel? He says, "What up, bro? Let's profit NFL season and can't wait for NBA." Yeah, you and me both. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna do some NBA preview, team total, season-long preview shows. Probably within the next few weeks as well. So be on the lookout for that. Let's see. G says, "What up, Chris? I did raise the question, Seattle revenge spot." You did. I do remember that, G. And I just wasn't a believer, if I'm being honest. Gabby Williams looked really good last night, though. Shout out to Gabby Williams and to Skylar Diggins-Smith. They both look really good. Tyler says, "Been back in Tina Charles lately. She blew a big parlay for me last night. Didn't do much within the last 6 minutes. She didn't do much in the last 10 minutes. Justin says he played the Fever up and over 92.5. I couldn't talk him off of that. Real quick, if we look at the Sparks, this season as a road dog, and they're getting double digits. They are 0-9 straight up, 7-2 against the spread when the Sparks are getting double digits this season. And those games are 5-4 to the over. Last 2 have gone under the total, but they were against the Aces and the Sun. I don't think that this Indiana Fever defense is as good as those 2 defenses. So that would bode towards an over for me. When I'm looking at opponent team totals to go over, they've held the last 2 opponents under their team total, and they've only given up 93, 3 times. 3 times have they given up 93 points or more in the 9 games so far. Just some context for my guy Justin and his play here. Sparks an under 174. CG says, "What up, Kyra? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning to you." Enrique and Gray couldn't make anything last night. Yeah, Enrique looked terrible. Fever by 1,000,000, Kyra says. She thinks that they win the game pretty easily. Dropping dimes like that, Aaliyah Boston double-double at plus 160. So if you go back and look at the numbers for Aaliyah Boston, because I did too, she has not looked well against this in her last few games. And that's really, I think, in my opinion, because Caitlin Clark has been so hot and because Kelsey Mitchell has been so hot. I mean, both of those players have been scorching hot. But I do think that, it's a big step-up spot for Aaliyah Boston. Feels like we're getting a discount for her being just at 23.5 points plus rebounds. Mark says, love Boston game lately. Dropping dimes likes the first half over. Sparks going to have to really bring it. They will. They absolutely will. Taking Sparks first half. Rakia over her on her points, Marquis says. What up to my guy, Bissies? He says, we'll be keen to see if the Sparks halftime and then fade them in the second half. That little gem you gave us, Cash and Chris. Yeah, they keep it close early and you can get a much better line with the Fever at halftime. I don't think that that's a bad look at all. So I would be right there. Bissy likes Caitlin Clark to get 20 points and 8 assists at plus 105 in his pocket. No way I could talk you off. Caitlin Clark, it's her world right now. Everybody else is kind of living in it, man. Her, Asia Wilson. Man, Caitlin Clark has been hooping. Credit where credit is due. Girl's on fire, man. Top 5 player in the WNBA. I think it's safe to say right now, actually. All right, let's transition over. What up to my guy, Dylan? He says, good morning, y'all. Hit the like button. Appreciate that. Let's transition over to NFL. We got the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. The line is consensus at 3, and I think the total is about 46.5 as well. I got some, let me just get to my notes really quickly. So very, very difficult game. Like I said, rematch of the AFC Championship game. If you've done any research, then you know that the Baltimore Ravens, there's some turnover, specifically on the offensive line. They also have some turnover with a couple of their head coaches. And but this was a really, really good team, solid team. I went back and looked at John Harbaugh, just coaching history, week ones, on the road. This has been Baltimore's really, really good team last season. They finished 12-7 last year, 5-2 against the spread on the road, 2-1 as an underdog. And I think they're gonna be good again this year. Also, you still got Lamar Jackson. You add Derrick Henry in the backfield, even though there's some questions on that offensive line, and we'll talk about that a little bit more when I get into the play that I really like. But this is a team that I feel like is still going to be able to do a lot of what they did last year, specifically run the football. Still don't trust Lamar Jackson's arm, especially against, really good defenses. And this was a Kansas City Chiefs defense that was number 2 in passing yards allowed at home last season, only giving up about 158 per game. They were number 4 overall, only giving up about 186 per game. But I do think that they're going to be solid. I think both of these teams are going to be very, very solid this season. Now, Kansas City, and I mentioned this when I did the preview for the season. Kansas City was a team that was in a very, very rough travel spot last season. For 6-7 games, they were at a rest disadvantage, and they still were able to propel themselves up and over. Win every game that they needed to, even in the wild card, taking a difficult route to beating the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. Kansas City is a team that went out and upgraded their wide receiver depth. They drafted Xavier Worthy, who I think is going to be really, really good for them as far as getting some separation. I talked about this in the preview as well. I'm not really high on Travis Kelce this season. I think he takes a step back. Just getting up there with age. I gave out his under for season-long receiving yards at under, I think it was 950, whatever that number was. And I should have linked these in the video. Maybe I'll add the link so you guys can go back and watch some of those previews. But this is a Kansas City Chiefs team that I still think is going to be, I think there could be some rust, to start the season off. They weren't the greatest scoring team, but I do think with Steve Spagnuolo as the defensive coordinator, I still think that they'll be really, really good defensively. And I think this is going to be an under-type game. I think we can see both offenses kind of struggle initially, but I'll just jump straight into the play. I like Derrick Henry over on his rushing attempts here. Derrick Henry is the running back, for people who don't know, that played with the Tennessee Titans for feels like forever now. And I did the prop cast with my guy Munoz yesterday, and was going through all of the player props. These lines I feel like are very, very sharp as well. But Derrick Henry, in my opinion, he figures to have a very, very big workload for the Ravens, not just in this first game, but throughout the entirety of the season. You go back and just look at the Ravens and the way that they play football. This is a very hard-nosed team that loves to run the football, loves to play defense. And the Ravens actually led the league last year in rushing yards per game last season, for the full season and on the road. On the full season, they averaged 156 rushing yards per game, and on the road, they averaged 156 rushing yards. Both were number one. They project to have a top, even with the turnover. I think it was 3 offensive linemen that they lost. I know Morgan Moses was one of them. They still, I think the replacements are going to be solid. Not as well as they did last season, but I still think that this team is going to find ways to run the football. And I think that they'll run the football. They'll run it consistently as well. Derrick Henry specifically, I don't think that he's going to have the same explosion. Like, from an explosive perspective, I don't think that he's going to be as explosive as he has been in the past. But I still think that they're going to run the football. And you go back and, not that it matters, but over his career, he's done really, really well against Kansas City. He's played them 4 times. In the 4 career games, he has 447 yards, so well over 100 yards per game. And he's the carries for Derrick Henry are what I'm most interested in. 15.5 is the number on Bet365. It's 16.5 on every other sports book. But I feel like there's some value here. So I haven't played the 15.5, but that'll be my favorite play, and I will lock that in as we get a little bit closer to game time. I don't think the line's gonna move too much. 16 carries in 3 of the 4 games that he's played this team in his career. And then I went back and looked at, just how well he ran last year in Tennessee. And he finished the season. Last 7 games, he ran for 16 carries or more in 6 of the last 7 games. So going up and over the number. Henry was a guy who led the league in carries last season. And I mentioned Baltimore led the NFL in rushing attempts as well at over 31.5 per contest. So to me, it feels like Baltimore will try to keep Kansas City off the field as much as they possibly can. I think the recipe for success, and if you go back to the AFC Championship game, of course, they ran the ball less than 10 times in that game, even though they were having success. So I think that, they probably try to reverse that narrative, and we get a big dose of trying to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field by running the ball with Derrick Henry. So that's my favorite player prop in this one. Interested to see what you guys are looking at. But I do like Derrick Henry over on his rush attempts, 15.5. And any touchdown, I couldn't talk anybody off as well. She says he likes the Chiefs -3. I do lean Chiefs -3. Justin likes the Ravens +3. Kyra likes the Ravens as well. Does Lamar Jackson go off? I don't think so, G. I really, really don't think so. When you say go off, I know his passing yards is like 211, I want to say. It's a very, very low number. It does seem doable, but it's first game of the season. And we can look back at all the data, but we're not sure, I'm not sure myself, how the season kind of starts for him. I do think that they try to keep this offense of the Kansas City Chiefs off the field, though, by running the football. Derrick Henry anytime touchdown -137 in his pocket, Justin says. I actually saw this at -120 yesterday, Justin, for a Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. And I like that one as well. If I'm betting anytime touchdowns in this first game, it's definitely Derrick Henry, because you expect him to get to the goal line and absolutely to give him the football so that he can get up and over the pylon and into the end zone. Real quick, anytime touchdowns for Derrick Henry. You can get a -115 right now on FanDuel for Derrick Henry. So definitely shop around. Make sure you guys are, getting the best of the number. Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown -115 on FanDuel. I like it a lot. Derrick Henry's back, Kara says. Tough to fade Mahomes at the crib. Yeah, I looked into trying to fade Mahomes at the crib as well. Just some of the digging I had did before, numbers that I didn't even talk to you guys about. Just real quickly, I'll share these with you guys. So the Chiefs, 5-1 straight up in season opener since Mahomes became the starter in 2018. Their only loss, of course, came last season to the Lions, 20-21, when they were playing at Arrowhead as well. They are 0-2 straight up and against the spread last season as a short favorite of 3 points or less. So that's something if you like Baltimore. And then, like I said, the Ravens, 12-4 straight up and against the spread under John Harbaugh in week 1 since he took over in 2008. There is some significance to him playing at home versus on the road. I think in those home games, he was like 8-1 versus like 4-3 on the road if it was a game 1. And then as far as the total, Chiefs 5-1 to the over in season openers since Mahomes took over. And John Harbaugh coached week 1s when the Ravens have been a dog. The games are 4-1 to the under. Chiefs 2-0 to the under last season when they were short home favorites of -3 or less as well. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to stay away from those. I kind of agree with Helms. He says week 1 lines are always sharp. They have been hammered by sharps for months. I wouldn't even say weeks, Helms. I would say months at this point in time. And that's why I think if you're playing anything in week 1 right now, you're getting the worst of the line, no matter what it is that you like for the most part, unless you like a dog, that's been, you just say, you don't agree with the market over the last 3 months, but I definitely agree with this, Helms. Sharp bettors have picked over these lines and they got exactly what it is that they want. I think player props are a little bit less volatile at this point, and that's just how I feel. Henry's going to play a lot. I agree with that. Joe says, I was watching Chiefs secondary close tomorrow. He'll be watching the close tomorrow. Losing L'Jarius Sneed is huge. I agree. McDuffie is going to have to come in and be a really good corner. He says he is a good corner, but he's naturally a better slot corner. He likes Zay Flowers. In which way, Joe? You like his receptions over? You think he can win a couple of those matchups? And I've been seeing a lot about Zay Flowers. He's been in the media a lot, and he had a very, very good rookie season. Step up. I don't like the receiving room as much. Also, you got Mark Andrews, who hasn't really been on the field since he's been in that car accident. I also consider his under 49.5 receiving yards. Just thinking that whenever you miss that time with your quarterback, there could be some chemistry issues. He also missed a chunk of last season towards the end of last season because he was hurt as well. So that was something that I had on my short list, was looking to fade Mark Andrews under 44.5 passing yards. Marquis says Chiefs by 5. Give me Chiefs in the under, Nando says. DJ Prop says DK has a boost for either Henry or Kelsey to get a touchdown for plus 100. I like it. I like it a lot. Lamar Jackson rushing yards and touchdowns. Spin the trip, he says. Okay. First half under 23.5. I can see that dropping downs. And Joe says he likes Zay Flower. His yards will be a play. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I like it. Don't let me talk you off at all. I think it's going to be, I can't really get a good sense. I don't come on here and, tell you guys something that I don't believe in, but I can't get a good sense of how I think the Baltimore Ravens offense is going to look. But we'll see. We shall see. All right. I haven't made a play yet today, but I will be on Derrick Henry over his 15.5 rushing attempts. Just haven't locked it in yet. If I'm playing the WNBA today, I do like the Sparks early, plus 7.5 in the first half, and Aaliyah Boston up and over her 23.5 points plus rebounds. This line should be available on FanDuel. It also should be available. I know it's available already on Bet365 because that's where I saw that last night at -110. So those are the plays for myself for today, man. Tomorrow we'll go through WNBA. We'll do a few more NFL games. We'll get into Philly and Green Bay and start looking towards the Sunday games as well, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in as always. Resources that I use to handicap the games are here. Definitely check out OddsJam if you guys have not. You can use referral code CBC for 20% off your first month. And also check out Moneyballer. I used it while I was doing the show. Maybe I should bring it up on the screen, but you guys can get 50% off your first billing cycle if you use code ChrisBeCappinn over there as well. One-stop shop, man. On your phone, on your desktop, just brings up all the stats, the trends, everything that you pretty much that you need to be able to handicap the games. the one-stop website. So love Moneyballer. Check them out if you guys are interested. Give Me the Dog, Killer Sports, and Cleaning the Glass are also on here as well. And that'll be the show for today, man. If you guys enjoyed the show, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys are betting in the NFL. Is there something that I missed? Do you like Xavier Worthy longest reception? Because that was something that I was thinking about. Don't really like it against this Baltimore team as much. But let me know what you guys are thinking. If you had to bet one play in the NFL tomorrow, what would it be? If you had to bet one play in the WNBA today, what would it be? Best of luck. Bet responsibly. And I'll catch you guys again tomorrow, man. Enjoy what is today? Wednesday? Yeah, enjoy your Wednesday. I'll catch you guys in the next one.